Hey, what it do, YouTube fam? It's T-Dub here. I'm still in Mexico City. Tonight's my last night here. We're gonna be heading to Oaxaca bright and early in the morning. Well, for us it's early. We're gonna take the 8 o'clock bus on ADO from the Mexico Tapo station. We came in to the Norte station, and that's where most of the buses we've been taking out of here. So I'm familiar with that station, and as I showed on another video, how to get in on public transportation, how to get from the Centro Camioneta Norte, taking public transportation, and you can even take the metro. But since we have all the bags, I'm gonna go ahead and take an Uber in the morning to the Tapo station, and it has a longer name like the Oriente station, I believe. I'll put it on the screen. The trip to Oaxaca should be 6.5 to 7 hours, and we should get there at like 4:30. I'll keep you updated on my journeys after Oaxaca. We plan to bus it straight to Tapachula and then cross over into Guatemala and head on over to Nicaragua. I do want to check out Guatemala. I don't know if we'll have time to do El Salvador, but I think I'll check out Guatemala on my return trip from Nicaragua. We'll see though, because I'm trying to get back to my home country. But I'll share like the whole journey and document everything that's going on. This is T-Dub. I'm about to go back to the room, get some sleep, or pack and then get some sleep. Catch this bus in the morning. Don't want to fuck that up. So peace. So this is the Tapo Central Camioneta, the Oriente station. So I'm here in Mexico City waiting on my bus to Oaxaca, which leaves in about 15 minutes. It leaves at 9. And this is the Terminal de Autobuses, Tapo. And the actual name, that's the name for short. The actual name is the Terminal de Autobuses de Pasajeros de Oriente. Jesus Christ, that's a mouthful. Anyhow, the trip is supposed to be 6.5 to 7 hours. We should get there like 3:40. Hopefully, everything goes smoothly. And I'm looking forward to checking out Oaxaca. So I'm gonna have my coffee now, board this bus, and be on our way. T-Dub. Peace. This one doesn't have very much leg room when the sea reclines, as you see. My wife has short legs, but it's hard for her to get in and out the sea. So if they put theirs back, I'm gonna really be fucked. And this is the footrest. And they're playing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a movie I absolutely hated.
Murder, revenge, and...
So this is the bathroom for the ADO bus going to Oaxaca from Mexico City. Wow, there's actually water. Toilet paper.
Económicos 2024.
Los jóvenes hemos enfrentado enormes retos, pero demostramos la convicción para superarlos. Nos alzamos por las causas que más importan. ¿O sea que actúas? Hago a la señorita Carlson, la tonta. ¿Esa soy yo?
Arrived in Oaxaca. It's like 4:10, so we're 40 minutes late since the bus was 40 minutes late. And here we are. I'm ready to get off this bus and eat something and have some coffee. I got some Irish sleep. It's not the best, but at least I'm not tired. Alright, let's get off this bus.
Pero demostramos la convicción para superarlos. Nos alzamos por las causas que más importan.
So this is the terminal in Oaxaca, the main bus terminal for the ADO and OCC buses, ADO and OCC buses. This is like Get Smart shit. Mission Impossible. No? No bueno. We need to get in. So this is the rooftop view from our hotel, guest house in Oaxaca. You can see the bus stop. It literally is a stone throw away from the bus stop. This is pretty pimp. It was raining a while ago. It let up for a minute. Clouds are still dark though. But look at this view. I got that little dog down there barking at me. But as you can see the bus station from here. That's pretty. Not the bus station, the surroundings, the hills, clouds, the sky. At least it's less smoggy here than Mexico City. My breathing's better here. This is Café Oaxaqueño. They put cinnamon and a little bit of sugar. You didn't even have to add cream to this. And of course, you don't have to have sugar. It's perfect. It even has the cinnamon sticks in it. It's good stuff. Perfect for a rainy day in Oaxaca. So this is the centro of Oaxaca, the center of Oaxaca. It's a Thursday, and as you can see, it's lively as hell. Beautiful city. Reminds me a lot of a town called Alamos in Mexico. Anyway, we went there a few years back. A very pretty place. It also reminds me of Granada, Leon, Mazatlan a little bit. Basically any colonial town we've ever been to. Very colorful, very poppy, very artsy. Lots of cafes, lots of restaurants, lots of art galleries, souvenir shops.
Ahí está la sopa, la selfie, ya tengo la sopa, la selfie.
I'm at the Mercado La Merced, Oaxaca City. I'm about to try one of their moments. I know this is gonna be good. You gotta try this, you know. Nicole wants one of these concoctions.
Todos en chili. ¿Tiene chamoy?
Ah, no. Este no pica. Es salsa, pero no pica.
This is not hot.
Okay.
Okay, see.
Cheese.
Wow, sucking it up. I'm gonna get just a regular old corn on the cob. Regular Latino style. Regular Latino style.
This is Latino style.
Regular Latino style.
¿Tiene tajín?
Claro.
Gracias.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Llame.
That looks good. So we're gonna try grasshopper on top of our concoction. I call them toasty locos. Yeah, see, I'm just getting corn on the cob. So I got my corn on the cob, and what I meant by regular Latino style, most places, most Latin American countries have a variation of this corn on the cob with the butter and cheese and the chamoy or the tajín. However, this toasty, well, this ain't toasty locos, but the stuff on the Tostitos,
Yeah.
this is a Mexican thing. That's what I meant. Obviously, Nicole's happy.
They're crazy.
She wanted to try that the other night.
This is
But
crazy.
you just have your snack, you people watch.
Oh yeah.
There's all kind of entertainment. Oaxaca, Mexico. And we're doing what we do. So now I'm gonna dig in. $6. These Latino people. So we're gonna head out tonight at 8 p.m. to Tapachula on the OCC bus. It's been nice visiting Oaxaca. I've really liked this city. Anyway, we better go get our bus now. And I'll keep you guys updated on our journey. Peace. Nice. Oaxaca. One of my must-see cities. So I'm here at the Adeo bus station, or should I say I'm back here at the Adeo bus station. We're leaving Oaxaca now and we're heading to Tapachula and we're taking the overnight OCC bus, OCC. I've never taken this bus before. I've taken Adeo, obviously I've taken from Mexico City here. I've taken Adeo in Yucatan before, never OCC, and I've definitely never overnighted on the bus from Oaxaca to Chiapas. So this is going to be an experience. I don't know if you can hear me. It should be a 13-hour bus ride. We're going to leave at 8 p.m. and we should get there around 9:10 to 9:30 if everything goes as planned. We got our subway, so we're going to get our grub on once the bus gets here. Hopefully it's on time. So this is our OCC bus to Tapachula from Oaxaca City. This one's gonna be packed for sure. All right, here we go.
Papas, papas saladas, papas adobadas, rufles queso, taquis fuego, chips. Algo que se les ofrezca, señores pasajeros, galletas. Diga.
So we're chilling here in Tapachula. It's about 4 in the morning. Our bus to Guatemala leaves at 6 in the morning. And to say I'm nervous would be an understatement. The bus ride here from Oaxaca was one of the craziest ever. As I mentioned, when we pulled into this station, we took the OCC overnight bus from Oaxaca, which was 13 hours to get here to Tapachula. But for like about 5 hours of the trip, you're going down this winding embankment that's mountainous. It's in a mountainous region. And then you're also climbing this mountainous road. So like you go down and you go up, and it's just like a winding road. And if you're prone to motion sickness, don't take that ride. Heading from Oaxaca to Tapachula, out of all the buses we took coming from Los Angeles, it was like the worst. I would say the worst. Now the bus was pretty clean. It's an older first class bus, kind of like the Tufesa one we took from Nogales to Hermosillo. Slightly rough around the edges, but it was clean. Amazingly, the bathroom had paper towels, toilet paper, soap, and water, which some of the nicer premium ones don't, so that was a plus. But the door on the bus, on the bathroom door, couldn't close, it couldn't lock. The latch didn't work, so when you're using the restroom, somebody could come in on you, but that wasn't the problem. The problem is, since you're going down this winding road and the bus is hopping back and forth, the door kept slamming open the whole time. So that was very annoying and not fun. I was very happy to get off the bus. My wife and I were very happy to get off the bus, to say the least. Now, the reason I'm nervous is, well, various reasons. Right now it's pitch black outside, and Tapachula is a border town, and just like when we went to Nogales, I didn't really care for it. I don't know, like I just got like this vibe. And I'm not gonna say I'm afraid of Tapachula, it's just, there's a lot of shit going on here. There's a lot of migrants in town. They're trying to get from Guatemala to the United States. Some of them are stuck here. A lot of political stuff going on here. Stuff going on with organized crime that I'm not going to delve into. I mean, you can look at the media and see that. My rating of Tapachula is it's a small border town. We ordered some food last night through Pt.2. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Pt.2. It's like Uber Eats. App looks the same and everything. Again, Uber doesn't operate out here. And then we went to the park, the Central Park, and like it's lively over there. I just leave it at that. And then we found a nice little cafe where we had some coffee and some flan. And both the taxi drivers we've had so far out here have been kind of douchey, especially the one last night. They had a problem finding the place. They just wouldn't listen to what I'm saying, look at the instructions, look at the address. They want to tell you how it goes, but then get pissed off at you that supposedly you told them to go the wrong place, even though you're clearly showing them on Google Maps where to go. That's what I'm dealing with here. So anyway, I need to get the fuck out of here. This is not like a tourist-friendly place. I already knew that. It's just a border town, straight up. And then again, I'm not saying anything happened where we felt unsafe, per se, but there's just like an undertone. If you grew up where I grew up, you'd understand what I'm talking about. Like, this is a feeling. I had that feeling in Nogales. But so far, these two towns, Nogales, Sonora, and here, Tapachula and Chiapas, have been my least favorite on the trip. Everywhere else has been cool. Right now, the problem is our Airbnb is nowhere near the bus terminal. Uber does not operate here. We've had to rely on taxi drivers to get from point A to point B. Walking with all their shit right now at night is not an option. I'm talking about being a mark. So that's why I'm worried, because our bus leaves at the crack of dawn and it's morning time right now. The sun's not up. It doesn't come up until right around the time our bus is leaving. We got to figure out a way to get a taxi to the bus station. So now we're gonna walk out there and see if we can find one without all our stuff, flag them down, and then come back and get our shit. I'm not even mentally getting into crossing the border, because again, I haven't done this since I was a kid. Way back in the 80s, different circumstances. Now I'm doing it as a tourist. I mean, that's a plus. I have an American passport now, so I guess that's a good thing, depending on who you ask. I read conflicting things about money shakedowns at the border and dubious people, obviously. that prey on people like migrants and even suspecting tourists. I'm kind of like not even getting into that yet. I just need to get on this fucking bus, and I'm glad we are doing a bus and we're not doing this on our own, where, you know, we take a local bus and then we cross on foot and then catch another bus on the other side. We're taking an international bus, which is Tica bus. So this is all new to me. I've used Tica bus crossing from Costa Rica into Nicaragua and vice versa. Never like this. So it's basically going to be 3 buses. You take one from Tapachula, cross the border into Guatemala, get to Guatemala City. There's like a 2-hour layover. Then you get onto another bus from Guatemala City to San Salvador. And then you overnight in San Salvador. And then you take a bus from San Salvador to Leon, Nicaragua, which is where we're getting off. So it's going to be a busy 2 days of traveling. I'm excited. I'm not even front, man. I am nervous, especially about this part right now, because, you know, we have a lot of shit on us, and some of it is very expensive, and it's not even about that. It's safety. Let me shut this off and go out here, and adventure continues.
Igualmente tienen que sellar la entrada a Guatemala. Es importante que lleven los 2 sellos en su pasaporte, por favor, señores. Para las personas que viajan con cédula o DUI, por favor, permanecen dentro del autobús. No tienen que hacer ningún trámite, señores. Igual las personas que van con tarjeta de visitante regional o residente también van a pasar a Migración de México a hacer su chequeo. Si alguien viaja con INE, solamente va a pasar a Migración de Guatemala a solicitar un pase local. Para las personas que necesiten hacer cambio de moneda, habrá un cambista dentro del autobús cuando estamos del lado de Guatemala, para que lo puedan hacer con confianza, señores. Todo trámite es personal, señores. Por favor, no le traen sus documentos a nadie. Gracias por su atención.
Gracias.
Contamos con Wi-Fi a bordo. Encuentran la clave y la red acá al frente, igual al final del pasillo. El Wi-Fi no funciona cuando ya estamos del lado de Guatemala. Contamos con un servicio sanitario que está al final del pasillo. Solo se les recomienda darle buen uso al mismo para evitar los inconvenientes dentro del autobús. Cualquier cosa estamos a la orden, señor.
Gracias.
Las conexiones eléctricas están en la parte de abajo de las butacas. Ahí tienen los puertos USB.
Tapachula, and we had to get stamped out of immigration by the Mexican immigration. Basically, she shook us down for about $80 for us to be able to leave the country, even though we had the FMM forms. She came at us with some bullshit about we didn't have the proof of payment from the bank. It was a shakedown. So they got us for that money. still kind of bitter about that, but we needed to get on the bus, and you're at their mercy. It's the middle of the night, there's nothing around, you're in some border town. What choice do you have? Either you pay the fee, and you get on your bus and you're on your way like we did, or you argue and that could go anywhere. This is the Guatemalan immigration office at El Carmen, where you have to get stamped in to Guatemala. And so now we're officially in Guatemala after getting checked down to leave Mexico. Yay! And we changed like $30. It's honest. Alright, anyway, the adventure continues. The border crossing, that was some bullshit. So we just got off the Cristobal Colon bus. Now we're gonna get on the more plush one, the Diamante. We're gonna change buses from Guatemala City to San Salvador. Here in Guatemala City, I'm waiting to get on my 5:30 bus to San Salvador, and then we're gonna overnight in San Salvador. So this trip should take about 4 hours. It was 6 hours from Tapachula to here. We spent most of that time crossing the border. I say that took about like 90 minutes. The rest was a pretty quick ride. And boy, do I have a story about that Tapachula border crossing. We got shaken down by the immigration, Mexican immigration, checking into Guatemala, getting stamped into Guatemala. That was easy, took less than 1 minute. Dude didn't give us any problems, but getting out of Mexico was a bitch. I'm gonna break that down once we get to where we're going. Anyway, the bus is boarding now, so I'm gonna go ahead and collect the things. They even gave us some snacks. This bus seems like a more premium one than the one we took from Tapachula to Guatemala City. I noticed it has less seats. And it's called Diamante, which is diamond class. So it's like executive luxury class. So anyhow, we'll see what's what. Yeah, see, this one's a lot more pimp. Look at these seats. Lots of leg room. It's like first class flying. See how much leg room you have on this bus. It's big seats. You guys are a favorite foot recliner. You could definitely get some good sleep on this. Looks comfy. Nice. Okay, so like I said, we should be in San Salvador in like 4 hours. He just told me we're gonna have to pay $12 per person to enter. So yeah, news to me. Let's see what goodies they gave us in the bus bag. Okay, we got some, what is this? Tortillitas. Some kind of peanut. Oh shit. A little Del Monte apple juice. I was gonna call it apple juice. Some vanilla wafers. Damn, they had that. And a bottle of water. Have I mentioned I'm fucking starving? This, I guess, will tide me over.
Al momento de bajar del autobús se dará cuenta un grupo de personas que se va a aglomerar en la puerta con el fin de ofrecerle cambio de moneda y de pedirle su documento, algo que no debe de hacer. Se baja del autobús y se van directamente a las ventanillas de migración. Únicamente van a bajar con el documento. Nos alistamos, por favor, que estamos llegando a la frontera. Gracias.
Yeah, this bus is pimp. This one has TP, towels.
Se les informa que tienen que bajarse en la terminal de San Benito y esperar el autobús que viene atrás de Guatemala para poder trasladarse al hotel y terminal San Carlos, ya que el viaje finaliza en la terminal de San Benito. para cambiar de autobús. También tienen que bajar su equipaje, luego ir a validar su boleto a taquilla para poder continuar con su viaje. Muchas gracias por su atención.
Alright folks, we're in San Salvador where we'll be overnighting until 1 a.m. when we gotta catch the bus to Nicaragua. We'll be getting off in Leon 10 hours later if all goes as planned. Let me get off this bus. So we're here in El Salvador for the night, and you know we gotta hit a pollo campero. I know it originates in Guatemala, but it's here in Central America, so I'm gonna fucking go in hard. We're gonna try the pollo campero extra crispy. We're gonna call that pollo campero. I'm here chilling in San Salvador, El Salvador, and we take our next and final bus for this trip to reach our destination to Nicaragua, which is going to leave at 1 in the morning. Accordingly, I can catch it from the same station where we got off from the bus from Guatemala to here in San Salvador. But there's another Tica bus station where the bus originates. I got kind of conflicting information on if we can catch it from this one, but from what I can understand is it will pass at this station where we got off when we got into town, so we don't have to go to the other side to the centro. Right now I'll put the neighborhood we're in. It's like one of the posh, safer neighborhoods here in San Salvador. It's like malls and a bunch of pubs and restaurants and every name brand food chain you can imagine, including all the American BS. Anyhow, the bus from Tapachula to Guatemala was pretty quick and uneventful, except for when we were leaving Tapachula and we had to get stamped out of immigration by the Mexican immigration. Basically, she shook us down for about $80 for us to be able to leave the country, even though we had the FMM forms. She came at us with some bullshit about we didn't have the proof of payment from the bank. Total nonsense. There's a shakedown. And so they got us for that money. Still kind of bitter about that, but we needed to get on our bus, and you're at their mercy. It was the middle of the night, there's nothing around, you're in some border town, and not even Tapachula. Tapachula is sketchy enough, but you're in the middle of nowhere. And I've read horror stories about that area. I didn't want my wife and I to be out there, and they know this. So what choice do you have? Either you pay the fee and you get on your bus and be on your way like we did, or you argue, and that could go anywhere. And I did put up a fight. I mean, I tried everything, and I guess it worked because we got through it, even though she was claiming we had to wait till the morning when the bank opens to pay the fee. But really what this bitch wanted was for me to pay her. Again, I'll go into more detail on that. Right now I'm trying to make this be about the bus. So the bus from Tapachula to Guatemala was pretty clean. It was like a slight tier above a second class bus. It's first class, but it wasn't like the best, fanciest bus. Now the one from Guatemala City to here to San Salvador, that was like one of the most pimp buses we took. It didn't have that many seats, and 2 seats on one side and a single seat on the other side, so there's 3 seats per aisle. So it was like first class, flying first class. The seats were big and plush, lots of leg room, you could lay back. You basically turned the fucking seat into a bed. And the headrest was super comfy, the bathroom was pretty clean. So far though, on all the buses, the bathroom amazingly has been clean. Some of them, the water in the sink will work, some of them they won't, some of them will have soap, some of them won't, some of them have TP but not towels to dry your hands, some will have all of the above. But this bus was pretty damn plush. Of course though, it was for the shortest leg of the trip, which was supposed to be like 6 hours, 4 hours actually, but it turned out to be like 6 or 7. So far, none of the buses have felt particularly like long. We've done bus trips in Mexico where it's been 24, 26, 27 34, 42 hours. We did it from Mexico City one time to Tijuana. We've done LA pretty much damn near straight to Cabo, where we just hopped off and kept jumping on buses and going. This time though, we actually stopped along the way, and most of the buses have been 14 hours max, 13 to 14 hours max, the length of time we're on the bus. Most of them though have been 6 to 10 hours. We've broken up the trip and I haven't felt exhausted like I have with other long bus journeys we've done. So it's mostly been the border stuff that's given me anxiety and wore me out. And having to like negotiate stuff in Spanish, that's another thing. This trip is totally doable. And yeah, you can wing it and not know Spanish. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you know Spanish, even basic Spanish, I don't know, man, some of these situations we've been in, I don't know if we would have gotten out of them or how we would have fared if I didn't know, like, at least the language basically. And I don't know like a lot of legalese words in Spanish and all that, but I was able to read a lot of like paperwork, and I was able to navigate a lot of the issues we had with the border officials, the police, the military, taxi drivers, hotel people. So my advice, if you're gonna backpack through Latin America or anywhere, learn the language of the place you're going, at least the basics, and definitely have loose change and smaller denominations of various currencies. Like I brought several dollar bills, loose dollar bills, US dollar bills. I brought 5s and 10s that came in very handy in paying some of these border fees. Some of them only accept US money. Like when we entered El Salvador, you got to pay $12 to enter. Guatemala didn't charge us anything. Mexico charged us to leave, which we had to drop 1,500 pesos. Luckily I had that. If we didn't, like I mentioned, she said the bank wasn't open, so we would have been stuck there. So make sure you have currency on you. We got like $30 worth of quetzales for Guatemala, but we just zipped through Guatemala. So from Tapachula to Guatemala City, we hopped off that bus and hopped on the other bus in Guatemala. It was supposed to be a 2-hour layover, but we were running late. So the minute we got off, we got on another bus. And that bus even gave us snacks, the way some of the luxury buses in Mexico used to do. But I noticed since COVID, they've been skimping on that. But in Guatemala, the plush San Cristobal Diamante bus, the one I'm talking about, the really pimp one, they gave us a bag of snacks, water, some little chips, some apple pear juice thingy, and wafers, yeah, vanilla wafers. It's cool. It makes the customer feel they're appreciated. All the money you're spending, you know, bus was plush, and we got here pretty quickly. Here in El Salvador, unfortunately, you're just overnighting. I'm hoping we still have money and time to like see the city properly on the way back. Maybe go to El Tunco, possibly Santa Elena. But right now my main goal is to get to Nicaragua and spend time there and see things there, because it's been 9 years. And that's the whole destination of this whole journey we're doing. This bus ride at 1 a.m. should get there at 11:30 tomorrow. Fingers crossed that everything goes well. There's this thing with this form you're supposed to fill out to enter Nicaragua 7 days before. I've been hearing about this thing for years and I just cannot get a straight answer no matter how many searches I do online. I filled it out. I doubt I'm gonna get anything back in time, and the site's really buggy, it crashes a lot. I tried doing it on my phone at first and it kept like stalling when you would go to the next page.
Yeah, see, it just continuously says it's processing. And then if you try to do anything else, it'll crash and start over.
So I'm hoping that's not an issue, because in Mexico they made it a thing, like, oh, you gotta have that if you're going to Nicaragua. Then in Guatemala they brought it up several times again. But I filled it out with my S Pen on my Samsung S23 Ultra. So I'm just gonna show them that if they bring it up again, and I'm gonna be like, look here, I filled it out, whatever, you know. Like what I don't understand, like, what is it to them? We're gonna get to the border, I'll have to deal with that. I'm getting up in that motherfucker. Of course I am a Nicaraguan citizen, my wife isn't, but I'm gonna get her in there. I just need to get there. But they were making it sound like they won't even let you get on the bus. And they're very strict on checking documents. Like, we've had our documents checked a bunch. We've had our documents checked more than our bags, more than us. Like, they haven't really even said anything to us. On other bus trips in Mexico, the military and the police will get on, the immigration, give you the 3rd degree, search all your bags and all that. This time we haven't had that happen. The drug dog or money dog, whatever the fuck, it looks like he was looking for counterfeit money or for people that are carrying more than $10,000. He was on the bus earlier, but even that was pretty quick. It's been pretty painless crossing all these borders so far. And Guatemala was the easiest. So Salvador was pretty easy too, but Guatemala, the guy didn't even look at us. And it was the middle of the morning. We just slid our passport and everything. He didn't even look at me. He didn't look at my wife. He just stamped the thing, gave it back to us. That was it. It was simple. It was Tapachula that was the problem. Crossing from Mexico to Guatemala, thus far. So we'll see what happens when we cross into Honduras and, of course, Nicaragua, which is our destination.
Bueno, pues ya contamos un aire acondicionado, audio y video, asientos reclinados. En cada asiento se encuentran lo que son los conectores para su dispositivo móvil, ya sea puerto USB o USB. Los conectores están en medio de cada asiento, ¿verdad? En la parte de abajo. ¿Verdad?
Okay, so this is the bus from San Salvador to Nicaragua. Here's the bathroom. There's water. Soap. No soap, just water. What is that? It does have TP and hand towels. So, yeah. There you go. Toilet. We're now at the border of El Salvador and Honduras. And it's the middle of the morning. So it's 4:30 in the morning. I'm assuming we get off the bus now and get our passport stamp. And then go to the other side and get stamped in by Honduras. The bus driver isn't giving much instructions. So I'm here near the El Salvador Honduran border. We just crossed into Honduras about 10 minutes ago, and we stopped at this restaurant. So the spot we just stopped at to eat is called Border 504, which is the area code for Honduras Bar and Restaurant. They had some tasty breakfast food, traditional Honduran, Nicaraguan stuff. Anyway, they had a really good plate of food for $5. I wasn't expecting that. I had to get some queso frito, some gallo pinto, some plátanos frito with crema, of course, and what else? I got a fried egg. Why am I blanking on how to say fried egg? Huevos frito. Jesus Christ. Hey man, it's been a long bus ride. So we're in Honduras now, and we're on our way to Nicaragua, Leon. We should be there in the next few hours, hopefully by 10:30. And right now it's like 6. So yeah, so I'm stretching my legs now, waiting for the driver to come out. But yeah, that's it. So that's our bus right there. We came on the Christopher Columbus bus. I noticed ever since we crossed into southern Mexico, A lot of the buses are named after Christopher Columbus in the native areas. Go figure. Reach the border with Nicaragua and Honduras. Alright, here we go. Alright, go. Okay, so we're here in Nicaragua. Now we gotta get stamped in and we are good.
Alright, we're finally in León, Nicaragua. Thank God. I'm so happy to be off this Christopher Colon bus. You happy to be here?
Yes.
Bro, the AC wasn't working on the fucking bus, dude. It was bad in Honduras, but once we hit Nicaragua, son of a bitch. Anyway, now we gotta fucking get to our Airbnb, and there's no Uber out here, so we're gonna have to fucking catch a taxi or walk. We don't have any money. We don't have any cordobas.
Sí, mi familia es Morgan. Ya buscando a Rosita y eso ya lo ha pedido son más del Pacífico. Sí, ahí hablamos siempre. Aunque tengo uno de que era de la Inglaterra o la misma Blanca, la isla del Maíz, la misma también. Y ese uno de los apellidos era Álvarez, Fabián Álvarez.
Por eso hablan más inglés. Hey, what it do, YouTube? It's Pt.2. So I'm here in León, Nicaragua now, as you can see. I'm at the Central Park, the Parque Central, with the cathedral behind me. It's about 11 at night, so everything is wound down at this point. So we did it. We busted all the way from Los Angeles to León, Nicaragua. And yes, we stopped along the way. I'm glad we did, because first of all, you can't just take like one bus straight. But let's say we did just hop off every bus and get on the other one. You still would have had to have spent at least a night in each town. For sure you would have had to spend a night in Mazatlan or Guadalajara. And then we would have had to spend a night in Mexico City. And then, of course, Tapachula, my favorite town. I'm being sarcastic. We broke up the trip and stopped along the way, which I'm glad we did, because I think the experience would have been a lot more stressful, and I'd be a lot more tired, and I would have lost my sanity a lot more. In Tapachula, which on this trip was my least favorite town, I think it's tied with Nogales. And they're both border towns. So the reason I didn't like Tapachula is because there was no Uber, so you had to rely on taxis. The Airbnb we got was further away from the center of town, which was cool because there's a lot of riffraff going on in the center of town. There's a lot of migrants, and I'm not saying that they're the ones causing the riffraff. I'm just saying there's a lot of migrants, there's a lot of other dubious people, there's a lot of stuff going on there. And my wife and I aren't a part of that, don't want to be a part of that. And so for security reasons and theft and stuff like that, we wouldn't have felt comfortable staying at one of the hotels around there. And it's also kind of pricey for what you're getting. But we found a nice Airbnb outside of the city center. Walking around, I didn't feel comfortable, especially walking to our room. So we had to rely on taxis, so I didn't like that. I like to be able to walk around the places I'm at, and I like Uber because I don't like really dealing with taxis, and that was a problem too. I got into it with a lot of the taxi drivers because they had a problem finding the hotel, the Airbnb, Even though I'd give them the directions, I show them Google Maps. But a lot of these taxi drivers, I don't know if it's machismo or it's because they're from there, they don't want you to tell them anything, or they feel that you can't. So I try to help them out and show them where to go, but they'd insist they know where it's at, and then they get pissed off when they couldn't find it. So I didn't like that. The taxi drivers were aggressive, not all of them. We had some nice ones. There was this weird guy though that was taking us to the bus terminal, and he just started suddenly singing Jesus songs, church songs. It was creepy as fuck. You know, this is the middle of the night. Again, I'm not from this town, so I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I watch a lot of movies. I make horror films. I watch horror films. It was just an interesting place. Like getting in from Oaxaca, that was no problem, except for the winding road. The roads between Oaxaca and Tapachula, the route they take, it was like 5 hours of winding road down a hill and then up a hill. And I'm talking like a tight 2-lane highway where you have other buses and big rigs careening towards you, other insane drivers on motorcycles and cars. It's not something I enjoyed. It made me regret not flying, and I hate flying. But other than that, the bus was nice. It got us there on time. It was uneventful, and luckily we got there safely. But once we got to Tapachula, and I went to confirm our tickets to León, Nicaragua, which is supposed to be through Tico bus, but now they have Cristobal Colon, the Christopher Columbus bus, which is another thing too. In all the like native areas of Mexico, all the buses are named after Christopher Columbus. Like the OCC bus is Omnibus Cristobal Colon, and then you have the straight up Christopher Columbus bus. So right there as a Native American, I'm like, yo, I don't like this shit. We got to ride the fucking Christopher Columbus bus. So anyway, we went to confirm our tickets in Tapachula, which we had bought online. So then the lady tells us at the booth that day that we can't leave. We were supposed to leave at 6 a.m. And then she tells us that trip's not gonna happen because we wouldn't be able to make our connecting bus, and there's no way we'd make it to Nicaragua by the date we had picked. Now, of course, online, I picked their tickets. They tell you how the route's gonna go, and basically it's 3 different buses. It's Tapachula to Guatemala City to San Salvador, and San Salvador to Nicaragua. So it's 3 separate tickets, 3 separate buses, and when you buy them, it's like a package for the tickets. You pay one price and they separate the tickets for you. So she's telling me I'm not gonna make it in time. We're not gonna make it in time. I'm like, okay, well, we picked the ticket from your website. We had nothing to do with that. She was acting at first like we did something wrong. Then she's telling me about this form that you got to fill out 7 days in advance to enter Nicaragua, which I've heard about for years, but I still to this day cannot get any information on if you need to fill this form out, if they ask for it or whatever. You don't. It's bullshit. They don't check. As a matter of fact, they give you the form when you're about to enter Nicaragua, because that's how you get your tourist permit. And you pay your $15 fee. She tells us we're not gonna make the connecting bus, so she's like, you'd have to leave at 9 p.m. So that means we had to stay in Tapachula an extra day, which I was not happy about. But whatever, we had no choice. And then the driver happened to be there, and he was trying to flirt with her, and he told us like, hey dude, if you guys left at 6 in the morning, with the way the roads are, since there was a lot of heavy flooding and rain lately, they've had to reroute the route you take to Guatemala City. He was telling us straight up like, there's no way with the boarding crossing involved and all that you guys would make your connecting bus. So he recommended we take the night bus. And again, I've never done this route. I've never taken a bus through Central America at night. So to say I was apprehensive, you know, it was an understatement. Me and my wife were worried about safety. Not that we necessarily believe anything's gonna jump off, but we've never done it before. It's the unknown. We listened to the driver and the woman, not that we had any choice. So she changed her tickets. So we had to go back to her room in Tapachula and deal with the taxi drivers again. We thought we were about to get out of that town. No, we're gonna hang out there some more. Okay, so that worked out. We ordered food through Didi, which is like Uber Eats, and ordered coffee. So that was cool, you know. And we even found a cool cafe in Tapachula. Don't get me wrong. There's cool places in Tapachula to eat, and people were nice. It's just there's a lot of stuff going on. You understand what I'm saying? With certain criminal organizations. That's all I say about that. And again, we're not involved in that, but it is there and it is happening. It's not like really a tourist town. They have volcanoes that you can climb nearby. They do have beaches and a Malacong and all that, but we didn't go there. We're just trying to get where we're going. We got the bus, we're on our way, everything's cool, and then we get to the border between Mexico and Guatemala. This year marks 20 years I've been traveling throughout Mexico, and for as long as I've been doing that, I've heard about people being bribed, shakedowns, the police, the military, the immigration, asking you for money. I've never had that happen. And I've been stopped by the police in Mexico several times. I was harassed one time at the beach in Puerto Vallarta. I spoke about that on one of my videos. For smoking, I smoke cigars, as you see right now. They were claiming it's marijuana. I had a back and forth with them, but they never asked me for money. There's been times when I've been coming out of the red light district in Tijuana, my cousin and his friend, and the police have stopped us. They saw I had money in my pocket. We all have money in our pocket. They stopped us because they claim it's a high drug area, which it is. Since tourists come to buy drugs, they were seeing if we had drugs on us. We didn't. But they saw the money. They didn't ask us for shit. They let us go. My friend that was with us, he was acting a fool. I expected for them to try to shake us down because he was acting stupid. But they didn't. They let us go. Another time, I was in the red light district, and the military swarmed the whole area with their AKs, told everybody to get up against the wall, started searching everybody again for drugs, and I had a wad of cash on me, several $100s. Dude was like, empty your pockets. I did. He looked at it, he saw it, and he's like, put that away. All right, you can go. Didn't ask me for shit. I've had the immigration get on the bus rides we've had all over Mexico. We've ridden the bus. They've gotten on INM, which is Mexican immigration, and they've looked at our passport or whatever, and that's it. I mean, sometimes they ask me a few extra questions, and it asks me for the FMM. It's a form that all foreigners, including Americans, have to pay when you enter Mexico. You pay 500 to 550 pesos. It changes constantly. When we first started coming to Mexico, it was 20 bucks. Then it was 30. It's hovering around 40 bucks now per person. If you're going to be in Mexico longer than 7 days, or you're going to venture outside of the border region, in our case, since we're from Los Angeles, we can visit Tijuana, Rosarito, Ensenada, San Felipe, Puerto Penasco, Hermosillo, San Carlos. That whole region, as long as you're there under 7 days, or you're not venturing beyond that region, for us, you don't have to pay for the FMM. You still have to declare you're going to be there. Most of the times they just wave you in, and then you're supposed to surrender the FMM when you leave Mexico. We've never ever had to surrender it. So where we're from, the border region, Tijuana, all that, man, there's a bunch of Americans living up in there. They never get that shit. If they ever do run into an immigration agent, a lot of them will call it a shakedown. It's not. You're supposed to have the form, especially if you stay longer than 7 days or you venture out. I've never crossed the border between Mexico and Guatemala, except when I was a kid heading to the United States seeking asylum. That was in the 80s though. A lot has changed since then, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this trip. I wanted to do it in the reverse direction, and now as a tourist and as a United States citizen. Different circumstances, but it was something I've always wanted to do. It's one of these bucket list things my wife and I had in our head, and also it would be cool to know what the experience is like to bus it from Los Angeles all the way to Nicaragua. So anyway, back to the FMM. We had it. We paid for it, and normally when you pay for it, the immigration guy will ask you where you're going. You'll fill out the form. Then he'll give you a little stub, and then you go to the bank, which is normally in the immigration office or at the border. And so you pay the bank the fee. They give you a receipt. You then take the receipt to the immigration guy. Now you have proof of payment. And the reason the immigration guys don't take the money is because of bribery and corruption. Because obviously if they took the money, they could shake people down all day long, right? Okay, so you give him the proof of payment, and then he stamps your FMM. And then he gives you back the FMM. And Mexican law says you're supposed to have the FMM in your possession when you're in Mexico. It's called a tourist visa, but they don't put one in your passport. Even the passport stamp is not important. Now they're trying to phase that out, and now they're starting to put a passport stamp, and they're trying to get rid of the paper FMM. But as it stands in most of Mexico, the FMM is all you need. And once it has the stamp, you're good. And then when you're gonna leave Mexico, you surrender it to the border agents. We get off the bus, we go into immigration, and right away the lady's like, did you guys pay the fee? So I'm like, yeah. Do you have the FMM? So I present it to her. She looks at it and she's like, where did you guys come in from? I'm like, Nogales. Told her we came on the bus to Nogales and we got it there. So she's like, where's your proof of payment? The bank receipt. At first she thought we weren't gonna have the FMM, but we did. and we had the stamp and it's good for 180 days. So now she comes up with some bullshit about we have to have the bank payment. In all my motherfucking years of traveling in Mexico, and again, this marks 20 years I've been doing this, like traveling around Mexico on bus, on plane, on foot. What the fuck? Like, they've never, ever asked us for the receipt from the bank. Now, the guy that's giving you the FMM will ask you for the receipt that you paid at the bank, which makes sense because that's how he stamps your thing. But I'm saying once you have the FMM, it tells you by law, that's all you need to have. Don't lose it. We had it. So this bitch claims, and yeah, fuck her. She's a fucking cunt. She claims that she's not gonna let us out of Mexico. She's not gonna let us back on the bus to continue on our journey unless we pay the fee that we already paid, which is about $40 each, so 80 bucks. It's not that we didn't have the money. That's irrelevant. It's the principle. You're shaking us down, you're making shit up, you're extorting us. And if you're doing that to us as Americans, I can only imagine what you're doing to Haitians, Venezuelans, Cubans, Nicaraguans that don't have a US residency, a green card, or they don't have a passport. There's a lot of shit going on in Tapachula, like I said, in Mexico as a whole. Actually, in all of Latin America, the whole way down. But Mexico's the worst. Any migrant will tell you that. Like, they're on some bullshit. And that goes with organized crime and the actual Mexican government. And again, you guys know if you watch my videos, I've never said anything negative against Mexico, but I've always been aware and cognizant that I am traveling on an American passport. I'm not traveling as a migrant like I would have been in the 80s. So it's a different ball game. I'm not gonna pretend like just because it's been cool for me that it's cool for Mexican citizens or it's cool for migrants who don't have the protections I do. I start arguing with her, telling her the law and we need to get on this bus and how is she gonna shake us down. She just says, all right, well, I'm not letting you on the bus because if I let you guys go, I'm gonna have to pay the fee. They're gonna take it out of my check and I'm not gonna lose my job over you guys or lose money because you guys don't wanna pay the fee. I'm like, lady, we paid the fee. You have the FMM. How do you think I got that? It's legit, isn't it? She said, yeah, but I need the bank fee. We go back and forth. Obviously, the bus is waiting. We're trying to go to Guatemala. And this is the tactic they use. It's the middle of the night. They know you're in the middle of nowhere. If you think Tapachula is sketchy, Tapachula is like the last city before you reach the Guatemalan border with Mexico. So we're in the middle of fucking nowhere. I'm with my wife. We got her stuff. She knows this. The bus is going to leave. You paid your money. So they know you're going to have to fucking pay. So then she says, the bank is closed. It closed at 9 p.m. It's already like 10. And this is where the bribery starts. So she's like, you'd have to wait here till the morning when the bank opens to pay the fee. We all know where this is going. I need to get on the fucking bus. I need to get as far away from Tapachula as possible. I tell her, okay, fuck it, whatever. We'll pay the fucking fee again. And she's like, well, I can't take that. There's cameras everywhere. There's even a sign in the corner that says, no to bribery and stop paying bribes, stop supporting corruption. The sign's right by the bathroom where the corruption happens. So this fucking shady hoe says we can't pass and she can't take the money. So I make my plea, look lady, we're in the middle of nowhere. I'm with my wife. It's dangerous out here for us. And I'm like, I don't want to be here. I need to fucking get to Guatemala. I can't be stuck out here. Like, you're putting her safety at risk. So she does the song and dance. All right, go wait over there. I'll talk to you in a minute. So then she gets this little pipsqueak minion of hers. She pops up out of nowhere and they start talking in the back. She comes out and tells us, follow us to the bathroom. Of course, we waited like 20 more minutes. So this is like now almost an hour of this stupid shit. And we're waiting there and they're harassing other people. There was a lot of Guatemalans crossing. They had their cedula. And same thing for them, just like with us being from Los Angeles. If you're from Guatemala, you can cross over to the border region and you don't need a passport, you don't need FMM if it's under 7 days and you're not going beyond a certain region. So it was a lot of Guatemalans. We're the only fucking Americans there. The little pipsqueak bitch takes us to the bathroom. We go in a woman's bathroom and then she whispers to us, if you give me the fee, she'll let you guys through. But we can't do it out there because there's cameras and we'll lose our job. My wife was able to record it. I'm not making this shit up. Obviously we can film in the thing and we can film what she was saying, but my wife was able to get the audio of her telling us. And again, it's all happening in the bathroom next to the sign that says, don't pay bribes, stop corruption, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay.
Que si lo van a pagar para que yo se lo lleve.
Listo. ¿Está bien? Sí.
¿Pero cuántos son?
2.
No, por ahí mismo que son por vecinos.
¿Cuánto?
Se vecinos. ¿Qué es lo que cobra el banco?
¿O es eso? ¿Qué es eso?
Es todo lo que tengo. ¿Lo vas a dejar pasar? Sí, sí, ok.
Anyway, Mexican government, if you're watching this is what your agents are doing. And yeah, I'm gonna put a picture of this bitch too. I don't give a fuck. Fuck her. My wife was able to snap a photo. Again, I wish I could get video of more of it, but you're not allowed to film in there at any of these border places. Long story short, I pay her the $500, and she's like, no, it's for both of you. You have to pay the fee. It's $700 each. It's supposed to be $550 each. She wants $700 each. All I have left, luckily, was 1,500 in pesos. So I gave it to her. Obviously, we're not gonna get any change. So then she tells us, she tells us some bullshit about, okay, I'm gonna walk out first. Don't come with me, because everyone will know what we're doing and the cameras are watching. I'll come out first, and then you wait like a few seconds, then your wife comes out, and then you come out like seconds after that. Like this is some kind of spy thriller. So we did that. We waited some more, another like 10-15 minutes. Finally, we go up to the stand. Homegirl stamps her passports. I tried to keep the FMNs, like fuck this hoe. It's like, no, I need the paper, you gotta surrender it. Everything's official, except when it's not. I love how some of these countries, they wanna tout law and order and the rule of law, but then they wanna break the law every chance they get. In the United States, they do that too, by the way. So, but that's not what this rant is about. She stamped her thing and we lost an additional 1,500 on top of having to pay for the FMM when we entered Mexico. Now, if we bus it back, we'd have to pay for the FMM yet again. Now, luckily, if we did cross through Tijuana or Nogales, I know this for a fact because I've done that, they're not gonna ask us for that. But the Guatemalan-Mexico border near Tapachula, bro, fuck that noise. I don't know if it's any better heading to San Cristobal. I don't fucking know, dude. But anyway, we got shook down for the first time in 20 years. Finally, we were able to get on the bus. And at that point, I didn't care. I just wanted to get the fuck out of the Tapachula region. So we did. And the bus ride to Guatemala City was quick, uneventful. We got there. And then the next bus we got on was like the pimpest bus we've been on. And that was the one from Guatemala City to San Salvador. If all the buses on our trip were like that, yo, I'd have no fucking complaints. Big comfy seats, lots of leg room, AC work, they give us snacks. The bus was clean and modern, the bathroom was well stocked, the drivers were nice, everything was cool. But not all the bus rides have been like that. We made it to San Salvador quickly, no problems. I ended up liking El Salvador actually. I want to go back. We're only there for like a night, but just that night I was there, I was like wowed by it. And it wasn't like on my travel destination. Anyway, I felt safe, everything was cheap despite being on the US dollar, and everyone treated us really nice. To be fair to Guatemala, it was nighttime, so we just whizzed through. Getting stamped into Guatemala was no problem. They didn't ask us for any money. The motherfucker didn't even look at us. We just slid the passports under the window. He stamped it, handed it back, and he was talking to somebody the whole time. Getting into El Salvador, same thing. They did look at our passport. They did charge my wife to come in, but since I am a Nicaraguan citizen, they didn't charge me, so that was cool. Even though Nicaragua did charge me to come in since I had a US passport. But I could have pleaded my case. I could have broke out my Nicaraguan passport, but whatever. At that point, I didn't give a fuck. I just wanted to get where I'm going. Crossing through Guatemala, El Salvador, no problem. Crossing into Honduras, no problem. We did have to pay $3 each for that, but it was quick and easy, painless, no shakedowns, no fucking bathroom meetings and shit. So we're good. Spend the night in El Salvador. You know, we had some pollo campero. We had some Juan Valdez coffee. We were smoking and hanging out, enjoying ourselves. The hostel was nice. We did have a mix-up with that there. We asked, is the station we come back to at 1 in the morning to leave from San Salvador to Leon? And both the security guard and the bus driver was like, no, it doesn't leave from here. It leaves from the other station because there's 2 terminals for Tico Bus, even though it's Cristobal Colon. Long story short, we ended up going to the other terminal. It was completely closed. It looked like it's been out of business for years. The dude said it's open in the daytime. We had to take the Uber back to where we were because our hotel was across the street from the bus station. So we could have just walked over and been good. But no, we drove all the way across the El Salvador, San Salvador to El Centro, and then had to drive back. Luckily, the Uber driver was super nice. Canceled the trip and then redid it for us, took us back because he didn't have to do that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have caught our bus. So then we get to the bus. It's already about to take off, supposedly. The driver's in there getting coffee, yucking it up, laughing and shit, cracking jokes. And then the other guy who turned out to be the second driver, we walk in and like no one's saying anything to us. He's sitting on the side of the counter, and then there's another guy behind the counter, and then there's the other bus driver that's filling up his coffee mug. He's like, what are you guys doing here? We're like, we're here to catch the bus. He's like, no, everything's over, it's done. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Everything's over, it's done. It's too late, you can't leave. You're gonna have to leave tomorrow. So I'm like, dude, the bus is right there, we're here. What is the fucking problem? Well, there's a process, there's paperwork and stuff. You guys are late, like, you're supposed to be here at 11. So I'm like, well, we went to the station. Yeah, well, you should have been there at 10. They love to move the goalposts. So I'm like, dude, we have a fucking ticket. What is the fucking problem? Can we get on the bus or not? So then the other guy, the ticket guy, he takes the thing, he looks at it, he's like, well, just let him on. So the douchey bus driver, he's like, no, man, it's too late. You have to fill out this form and you got to check your bags. There's a process. So there's like this uncomfortable silence where nobody's saying anything. So then the ticket guy, he's looking at the thing, he's like, oh, they bought it as part of the package. They came all the way from Tapachula. And I told him that. I said, dude, we've been riding buses since Tapachula and we already got caught up there for an extra day. Don't fucking make us spend another night in El Salvador. He's like, well, it's gonna have to be that. Okay, so we can leave at 6 in the morning? He's like, no, it has to be the 1 a.m. You can't change the time. So that would have meant we'd have to pay for a whole nother night of a hotel in San Salvador. So that'd be 2 extra nights of staying in a fucking hotel just to leave on our bus that's waiting right there. So then this fucker's like, you're gonna have to talk to him, the ticket guy. So the ticket guy's like, well, I can't change it because it's been changed already, which remember in Tapachula, the woman changed all of her bus tickets because supposedly we couldn't take the 6 a.m. one because we wouldn't have made it to Nicaragua in time to get her connecting buses. He's like, I can't change it again. I can only change it once. So then he's talking about, I got to talk to the supervisor, blah, 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 blah. So finally, Douche Makouche, the main guy doing the talking and cracking his jokes, he's like, all right, fuck it, you can get on. Thank you, Your Majesty. How noble of you. Remember, we're paying customers. These motherfuckers acting like they're doing us charity, like we're hitchhiking and shit. No, we're fucking paying, man, and they're treating us like fucking shit. But oh boy, the hits are about to roll out. At this point, I haven't had a negative bus ride, other than the winding road, but that's not like the driver. He didn't design the road. Everyone's been cool. The buses have functioned and worked. The AC has worked. The one from Nogales to Hermosillo, the AC was kind of iffy on that. The weird security guard, who's a weirdo too, who had told us to go to the other station, he opens the thing and he's like, where are you going? And I tell him. And he's like, okay. Oh, wait. All right, now proceed to put your bags. Okay, so we put our bags and he's like, okay, now you may board the bus. You know, he has like this big shotgun aimed at your foot the whole time. It was like a David Lynch fucking movie. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get it together here. Our benevolence finally tells us you can get on the bus. So we get on the bus. Can we fucking go now? Once we started going, everything was cool. But then, about an hour into leaving, the bus started making this beeping noise. And the screens to the TV, they couldn't come down. And so there was some kind of electrical thing, and then the fucking AC stopped working. And so it got super fucking hot. I've never taken this route, but I am from Central America and I have been here. So I told my wife, I said, yo, it's morning time right now. It's already hot. But wait till daytime. And boy, I was not wrong on that. So he pulls over to the side of the road. And at first the bus was like sputtering and shutting down. And I was like, great. We're gonna fucking break down on the side of the road 1 hour after we leave San Salvador. So anyway, they tinkered with the AC. The bus started up, but the AC was like a trickle. It was like that the whole fucking ride to Nicaragua. It was a sauna up in that motherfucker. The driver, he even was like, hey, it's like an inferno back here. It's like an oven. It was cool though. They did stop in Honduras for some food. Food was good. It was $5, free coffee. Man, I'm glad we fucking ate. But when we got to the border with Nicaragua, the bus stops, we go in the building. I'm sweating it about this damn paper that I filled out and the website kept crashing. The Nicaraguan form you're supposed to fill out 7 days before. I submitted it, never got anything back. So I'm shitting bricks about that still. On the bus though, right before we pulled up, dude gives us the paper and I tell my wife, this is the same fucking paper I've been trying to fill out for days. So we fill it out. Some guy gets on the bus, collects everyone's money. He gets the papers, goes into the building. I hope this is the right guy we paid. And he keeps popping up, walking around. We get to the window. The woman asks us where we're going. I show her the hotel. Here in Nicaragua, the addresses are weird because a lot of places don't have addresses, so they use landmarks. They'll be like, it's the building next to that lamppost, next to the dog that sits under the tree at 12 p.m. So I show her the address. She fills out the whole thing, takes her fingerprints. I'm thinking we're gonna get stamped in. Nope. She takes her passports. You guys go wait over there. They have to see you in the back row before we can let you in. And there was a girl from the United Kingdom with us too. They told her the same shit. let's see, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's like 10 or 11 of us. Everyone else got stamped in. They're waiting in the hot sun by the bus outside. At least we're waiting inside with the AC. There's 10 or 11 of us that are foreigners, even though I'm Nicaraguan, I'm traveling on an American passport, because I didn't want to confuse things. So we waited forever. We were at that border for 4 hours. 4 horas. 4 hours. I'm gonna say it again. We were at the border for 4 hours. We left San Salvador at 1 a.m. and we were supposed to get to Leon at 11:30. We didn't get to Leon until 3 p.m. I don't know what happened. I just know the guy at some point came back and told us, hey, you guys can get on the bus and I'll bring your passport. And he made the British girl do the same thing. Whatever was going on in that back room, obviously it's like some kind of secondary inspection. Another thing too, when we're getting off the bus, Douche McCoosh, the bus driver, he made it a point to tell one of the immigration people, me and my wife, like they're Americans, them two what? Oh, don't worry, go with him. You guys are gonna have to go through a special process. What the fuck? Something was going on back there. They were making nacatamal or vigoron or something, man. Like, cause that shit was taking way too fucking long, yo. Dude eventually brought the passports. There was never any explanation as to why we waited, and then they didn't even stamp our passport. They stamped a little tourist card thing. I wanted to stamp in the passport. They used to stamp the passport. At Penas Blancas they did. I don't know what they do now. And I've crossed in through Penas Blancas before. It's always been a seamless entry. It has been 9 years though since I've been to Nicaragua. So I haven't been here in 9 years. And I've only crossed through Penas Blancas and I've only flown into Managua, to Managua International Airport. I've never crossed in from Honduras. So we got stamps from everywhere except the destination we're trying to come to. It's on the little card. Did I mention the AC on the bus wasn't working? We're literally like right under the equator where the sun is, the hottest place in Central America. We're just sweating our ass off. I was so glad we were getting off in Leon. I felt bad for the British girl. She was going way to fucking Grenada. Some of these people were going to San Jose. They had to cross Penas Blancas and make it by nighttime to San Jose. That's 9 hours on a good day. Anyway, I got off the bus in Leon. And so here I am now. It's like midnight now. I'm out here enjoying myself, having my smoke. I'm gonna go hit up the Fritangas soon. Hopefully it's still open. At this point, I really don't give a fuck though, because I'm off that bus and I'm not at that border. But we're here. We made it. We busted all the way from Los Angeles and we checked off our bucket list. This video has been like 1 hour and 15 minutes. Story time with T. But it's still not as long as getting in the border from Honduras to Nicaragua at Guatemala or whatever the fuck it's called. Alright folks, I'll keep you posted with my travels and going-ons and what we get into here in Leon and the rest of Nicaragua. Peace. See, my cigar went out.